From royal glamour to influencer awkwardness, Meghan Markle's public image has taken a nosedive so steep, even Netflix can't edit it pretty anymore. What started as a fairy tale escape from the crown is now a bizarre string of PR stunts, fake tears, and pineapple tutorials. And as the mask starts to slip, one thing becomes clear. This isn't authenticity, it's performance. In the name of relevance, Meghan is throwing everything at the wall, but unfortunately for her, only the cringe is sticking. Let's start with the mess that kicked the internet into secondhand embarrassment.
Trick that people do with pineapple, instead of just cutting it to make the perfect little bite, you follow the wedge. When nature has given you all the cues on how to have a perfect taste of something.
Oh, how fun is that? I love it. Easy. Mm-hmm. All right, is it gonna work? Am I good? It's great.
The pineapple incident was supposed to be charming, wholesome, a little insider tip from Meghan on how to eat a pineapple the right way by following the wedges. But instead of a refreshing slice of life, what we got was a carefully lit, overly staged tutorial on cutting fruit. In a deleted scene she later released from her Netflix series With Love, from Meghan, the Duchess smiles wide, claiming, "Nature gives you the cues." What followed wasn't helpful, it was hollow. The video made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Commentators slammed it as a home economics lesson with a luxury price tag, and viewers weren't buying the act because when your real moment looks like a rejected Goop ad and requires 3 camera angles, it's not authenticity, it's marketing. And if pineapple was meant to humanize her, it only made her seem more robotic. But the fruit saga was only the appetizer. If there was ever a podcast that deserved a cringe warning, it's this one. Meghan sat down with Jamie Kern-Lima, self-made billionaire and motivational speaker, for what was meant to be an emotional, powerful chat. But within minutes, the episode nosedived into artificial flattery and staged vulnerability. Jamie opened with, "Meghan, how are you?" Meghan's response, "I'm better than okay." What followed was a nonstop loop of mutual ego inflation.
I think I've seen a lot of things in my life. I have never seen anything like what you go through on a daily basis.
I know.
I have never seen anything like it.
I know.
I think what's so beautiful is when people connect, who are listening or watching, connect with the truth, and they'll know it's true in their soul when they hear and listen to this, and that's what I think is so special. And so
I love that, and I appreciate it because, if it's the newness of our friendship, you're able to see that and think about the friends I've had for a really long time and their experience of watching it and going, oh my gosh. And then people that I reconnect with all these years later who literally can go, but you're the same.
you're the same.
I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And how hard that is when I'm like, but I'm the same. But that's not what gets clicks or sells papers, so they need to do something else. But you're like, hey guys, I'm still here doing the same stuff.
I'll never forget, you and I were at a business conference together.
At Amy's.
At Amy Griffin's, our friend Amy Griffin's. And afterwards we got back, and I think there was lots of different just group photos from all the different people there on social media.
They praised each other like it was an awards show. Meghan called Jamie infused with light. Jamie described Meghan's podcast as a hug for your brain. It wasn't empowerment, it was ego karaoke. The performance didn't stop there. Meghan dabbed her eyes, appeared to choke up, and the internet lit up. Not because they were touched, but because they'd seen this act before. Years-old clips resurfaced of Meghan casually joking that she could cry on command, word for word. "Give me 3 seconds, I can do it." One tear left eye. Suddenly those emotional podcast tears looked less like pain and more like rehearsal. If this was meant to be healing, it just ended up hollow. And what came next made it even worse. Enter Scott Rouse, a leading body language expert who did what most people were already thinking. He dissected Meghan's podcast appearance frame by frame. And what he found wasn't reassuring. Rouse pointed out constant blinking, facial expressions that didn't match her words, and gestures that seemed totally disconnected from emotion. When she talked about pressure and struggle, her face stayed oddly still. The voice cracked, but the body didn't budge. According to Rouse, that mismatch was a classic sign of performative emotion, not genuine distress. He even analyzed a moment when Meghan talked about staying married forever. "Yes, yes," she said, but her voice went high, her shoulders twitched, and her eyes blinked faster than normal. In body language terms, those are red flags, and not the romantic kind. It wasn't about catching her lying. It was about showing just how much of her public persona is curated, filtered, and polished to the point of feeling plastic. Rouse's breakdown didn't just go viral, it sparked a new trend. People weren't listening to Meghan anymore. They were watching her. Every blink, every pause, every perfectly timed sob. Because when your truth looks like a script, people stop treating it like truth at all. Meghan Markle's early days in the public eye were already wrapped in whispers. But now, some of those whispers are getting louder, from claims of a mysterious tape to alleged connections with Jeffrey Epstein's yacht and even Prince Andrew. This isn't your average tabloid gossip, it's deeper, darker. Photos from Meghan's so-called yacht girl days have reportedly been scrubbed off the internet, and while there's no confirmed evidence, several sources claim she was seen at elite events hosted by the same circles as Epstein. Add to that her own confession that she can turn on tears in 3 seconds, and suddenly, the line between past and performance gets even blurrier. Coincidence or cover-up? Viewers don't seem convinced. Then came the birthday dance that broke the internet, for all the wrong reasons. To celebrate daughter Lilibet's birthday, Meghan posted a video of herself dancing while heavily pregnant in a hospital gown. It was meant to be sweet, but the internet had other ideas.
Drop it down, drop it down, down low. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. To the baby mama when I step out on the block. Work. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. To the baby mama.
Veteran journalist Meghan Kelly led the takedown, calling the video cringy and accusing Meghan of turning childbirth into a PR stunt. Comments flooded in, calling the clip disgraceful and undignified. One viewer even said, "Princess Diana would be mortified." Ouch. But what stung more was Meghan's caption. "Spicy food didn't work. Acupuncture didn't work. So I danced." Sure, it was personal, but it also felt performative, like everything else lately. Next, the Duchess signed her name and started a storm. After stepping down from royal duties, Meghan Markle was no longer entitled to use the title Her Royal Highness. But that didn't stop her. In a recent gift basket sent to a friend, Meghan signed the card with compliments of Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. The internet zoomed in, screenshots exploded, and the outrage came fast. "You can't have it both ways," people said. "You quit the firm, stop clinging to the perks." Even British polls backed that sentiment. An overwhelming 97% of respondents now believe Meghan and Harry should be formally stripped of their remaining titles. And King Charles, he stayed quiet, but insiders say Prince William is ready to take action when it's his turn. The message is clear. If you walk away, don't come back waving the crown. And if you think that's the end of her royal obsession, think again. In public interviews, Meghan has often claimed she didn't know much about Prince Harry or the royal family before dating him. No Googling, no interest, just fate. But her old blog posts tell a different story. One close source revealed Meghan had a vision board, complete with Prince Harry on it. That's right. The guy she barely knew was already a go-along before they met. Add in her detailed knowledge of royal traditions and fascination with weddings, and suddenly that whole innocent outsider act starts to look strategic. From yachts to vision boards, from podcasts to palace perks, it's not just a pattern, it's a playbook. In an attempt to pivot once again, Meghan launched a lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard. When that didn't quite click, it was quickly rebranded to As Ever, but even the name couldn't escape controversy. First, small businesses called out the brand for stealing their name. Then, online users pointed out that Meghan's logo looked suspiciously like a Spanish town's official coat of arms. Legal trouble started simmering before the first product even hit shelves. And when her jam jars sold out in 30 minutes, fans were told it was a wild success. But here's the kicker, only a tiny batch was made in the first place. Critics called it a fake sellout, a PR trick dressed as demand. If this was a masterclass in branding, it felt more like a desperate scramble for relevance. And speaking of desperation, things were about to get legally messy. In her Netflix series, Meghan shared a DIY bath salt recipe meant to be soothing and holistic. Instead, it might cost her $10 million. A Maryland woman, Robin Patrick, claims the mixture caused severe burns and ulcers. She's diabetic and said ingredients like arnica and Himalayan salt made things worse. Now she's threatening to sue Meghan, Netflix, and the Archewell Foundation. One home remedy gone horribly wrong. And that wasn't the only brand crisis. Her podcast, Archetypes, fell off the charts just months after launch. Critics slammed it as shallow, self-serving, and low on substance. Her emotional revelations were met with eye rolls, not empathy, especially when those revelations kept sounding like rehearsed monologues instead of raw truth. At this point, people weren't just disinterested, they were done. The audience she was trying to win over now only saw red flags. And the final nail, it wasn't a lawsuit, it was the hypocrisy. Meghan and Harry once positioned themselves as modern rebels, breaking free from royal rules and charting their own path. But now, many believe it was never about independence. It was about monetizing the monarchy. They say they want privacy, then film documentaries. They say they're building a new life, but keep using royal titles. They talk about struggle, pain, and healing. Yet every interview, every podcast, every product launch is another step in controlling the narrative. From fake tears to twerking in labor, from lawsuits to lavish brands, the story stays the same. We're misunderstood. We've been wronged. But public patience is thinning. Because it's hard to sell victimhood while living in mansions, doing multi-million-dollar deals, and launching designer jam. What do you think? Is this Meghan's new beginning or the final chapter of a PR saga that's run out of steam? Let us know. See you in the next one.